Hello, welcome to the Spotlight Talk, Maximize Value using ArcGIS Web App Templates. My name is Chris Martin, and I have been a platform configuration engineer for about 5 years here at Esri. So let's get started. When you're building an application, there are many things you have to take into consideration prior to constructing and deploying it to your users. These include technology, development time, security controls, user access, functionality, and many others. This can be understandably overwhelming at times. Today, I want to talk to you about leveraging Esri application templates to reduce that worry and help you get an app stood up easier, faster, and with less overhead than you may have experienced in the past. I'm going to begin by reviewing some configurable application types. The first is configurable app templates. With configurable app templates, there is no need to reinvent the wheel. These templates make it easier to identify workflows and ideas for applications. There are more than 30 templates from which you can choose. Ultimately, you'll want to align the app to the story you're trying to tell, and because the templates are so quick to configure, you can try multiple apps to find the right one to send the exact message you want your audience to walk away with. This may involve some trial and error, but it's still going to be easier than developing from scratch. All of these templates are authored, hosted, and maintained by Esri, which will hopefully give you some peace of mind. They have been tested and vetted, and the code is frequently updated with new functionality. We introduce new templates regularly, and they are often driven by customer input. The next option is Web App Builder. Think of Web App Builder as a sandbox with a variety of tools you can add to an application to achieve your desired workflow. These applications allow more flexibility than configurable app templates, but also require a bit more creativity and understanding to select the right tools. Web App Builder also comes in two main flavors, a version built into ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise, and a developer's edition that allows for much deeper customization. Lastly, solutions. Solutions are a curated set of maps, applications, and often data that collectively provide a solution to a common issue or workflow. There are over 70 solutions available across a variety of sectors, including several not listed here. Many, if not all, of these templates were developed based on real-world customer-driven use cases. These solutions are designed to take much of the guesswork out of the development process and allows for rapidly standing up a solution to your desired workflow. Each component of a solution can be further configured, as I will show you here today. I'm now going to demonstrate one way to identify and deploy a solution to ArcGIS Enterprise. First, let's take a look at the ArcGIS Solutions page. My primary users are state government, natural resource employees focused on providing water quality information to the public. With this information, I know to select natural resources under state government. Scrolling through the list, I see there is a solution for monitoring water quality. The solution Share Water Quality Reports seems to meet my needs. I want to deploy this solution to my ArcGIS Enterprise to see if my stakeholders will approve. The easiest way to do this is with the ArcGIS Solution Deployment Tool add-in for ArcGIS Pro. This add-in will assist in deploying our solution. It can be downloaded and installed like many other applications. Once installed, it will be available in ArcGIS Pro. I've already downloaded and installed this add-in. Once opening Pro, you can find the add-in under the Share tab and then ArcGIS Solutions Deploy. This opens an ArcGIS Pro task. First, we must sign into ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise, which I've already done. Next, we select the solution we want to deploy. Fill in a few details. And here's the one I'm looking to deploy. Specify an output folder you'd like it to go to, and hit deploy. Once that is completed, there are a few more options that we can do, such as extending the schema or loading data, both of which that I've already done prior to this. I can now return to my ArcGIS Enterprise and take a look at my content. I see I have a folder that I deployed with the Solutions tool, Water Quality Status. The folder has many items, including a hosted feature service, a web map, and a web app builder application. I've already taken some time to enhance this web map by configuring a custom pop-up, as we will see in the application. Let's take a look at the application it deployed. This application is a basic viewer with a couple of widgets in it. The first is the About widget that gives us some basic information about the app. We also have a search that is configured to identify water bodies within our dataset. As I previously mentioned, I also configured a custom pop-up. This application is now ready to share with our stakeholders. However, with all of these templates available, you might find that they don't quite meet the stakeholders' needs, and you require additional functionality the templates don't offer. This is where you might start thinking about heading down the custom development path. But before you do, there's something else for you to consider that might help save you some time. You can add custom functionality to these configurable applications. One way you can do this is by adding custom widgets to the Web App Builder app we just deployed as part of the solution. You can develop these widgets yourself if you have the know-how, or there are a great many resources you can tap into, including GeoNet. GeoNet is the Esri community where customers, partners, Esri staff, and other GIS professionals collaborate, share ideas, experience, and particularly relevant to this conversation, they share code. In addition to GeoNet, there are many other useful resources that I will share at the end of this presentation. But first, let's spruce up our application with a custom widget. The application was well received by our stakeholders, but they did not like the floating pop-up. They asked us to move the pop-up to a panel on the side so it no longer obscures the view of the map. First, let's find the widget that we need. This site is a curated inventory of many of the widgets being shared publicly. It is a great first stop when looking for extended functionality. Let's find a widget that can help with the pop-up. This pop-up and panel sounds exactly like what I want. Let's take a look. There's a live preview here, and I can also download it from Robert's GeoNet post. After downloading the widget, I need to deploy it on my web server. In this situation, I'm going to be using IIS, so I'm going to be looking for the initpub folder, www.root, and I'm going to create a directory for my widget. I'm going to unpack all of the files here, and it is now hosted on my web server. One of the easiest ways that you can verify your widget is being hosted and served properly is you can go to the fully qualified name of your web server in the browser, go to the directory that you deployed the widget to, and look for manifest.json. If you get a valid response, then your widget has been hosted properly. Now we need to register this item in our portal. I'm going to start by going back to my enterprise, go to My Content, add an item, an application extension for App Builder. I need to provide the manifest URL that we just checked, giving it a title, and a tag. Hit Add Item, and this item has now been registered with your portal. We need to go back to include this widget in our application though, so I'm going to go to My Content, our application, and instead I'm going to edit the application. Our stakeholders asked us for the pop-up to be in a side panel, which this theme does not have. So I'm going to switch to the jewelry box theme, which gives us a place to put the widget on the side panel here. I'm going to configure by adding a widget. Now we have a custom widget, pop-up and panel. Select it and hit OK. There are a few configuration options here, but I like how they look, so I'm going to leave them as they are. I'll hit OK, and then I'll hit Save. Clicking Launch will open this in a new tab and I can preview my changes. Now, when I click on a feature, I'm going to get a pop-up in the side panel. Our custom widget is now included in the app. We once again share this with our stakeholders, and they like everything except for the clear button, as it is confusing to their users. We can remove this option by editing the source code of the custom widget. I open the source in my favorite IDE, and I discover that it's a pretty standard pattern. I have my HTML, my JavaScript, and my CSS. I can go into the HTML, find the clear button, and either delete it or comment it out. Or I could go into the CSS, find the clear class, and change it just to hide it for the time being. Now that we have made these changes, we will need to return to our application in order to remove and re-add the widget. This is because the instantiated widget contains the original source, and we can clear that by removing and re-adding the widget. We'll just go here and click the X, hit OK, save to be sure, click the widget button, custom, add it again, OK, save, and click Launch. When I select a feature, we will see that the clear option has been removed. The last thing that I wanted to touch on before we wrap up is configuration versus customization. If you do need to build a custom app, you're going to need a developer. Your organization may already have one on staff, such as yourself, but if you don't have immediate access to a developer, you have to think about bringing in outside resources, whether that's hiring someone new or engaging with a contractor. Or you might train internal staff and get them up to speed. Any of these approaches is going to take time and money. In addition to these considerations, you're also going to be responsible for hosting and maintaining your custom application. I'm not trying to scare you away from customization, as it certainly has its value. There are certainly plenty of use cases to support this approach, but we do recommend taking a configuration mindset first, taking advantage of the tools available to you, and customizing only when needed. In terms of configuration, Esri's web app templates don't require a developer and don't require a lot of training. They allow non-experts or non-developers to create high-quality apps without a lot of overhead. You still might need to go down the custom app path, but starting with a web app might help with prototyping and help speed up the process by honing in on the specific workflow your users actually need. Oftentimes, the first understanding of the need is vastly different than the delivered product. I hope we've shown you today how easy it is to use Esri web app templates to make clean, clear, and effective web apps quickly and efficiently while also reducing costs, and hopefully making your life easier in the process. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, here are some helpful resources for more information on the topics we discussed. Thank you for your time today.